Hello, I'm Scott F. Mason. Welcome to an effervescent epiphany. Say that 3 times fast. I'm so glad that you can join me here tonight, and maybe we might have some snow. We are all so busy during the holiday season. Maybe you're celebrating Halloween, and next thing you know, it's Thanksgiving. And then next thing you know, it's Christmas. So much shopping, decorating, making cookies. Whatever you do during the holidays, it seems like it goes by so fast. But not for me, because I also celebrate the 12 days of Christmas. Many people think the 12 days of Christmas happen before Christmas, but that's not true. It's actually based in spirituality, and the 12 days of Christmas are those 12 days between Christmas Eve and the Eve of the Epiphany, which was last night. Yes, we all know the song, but there's lots connected with those 12 days of Christmas. Of course, New Year's falls in there too. But if you're spiritual or very religious, there are 12 feasts during that time. In fact, the second day of Christmas, or the second night of Christmas, is the Feast of Stephen that you've heard about in the, of course, classic Christmas song, Good King Wenceslas. The 12 days ends on the Eve of the Epiphany, or what we call Twelfth Night, which is a big festival. Twelfth Night may sound familiar because, of course, it was the title of a Shakespeare play set on that hallowed evening. Yes, this is the last official day of Christmas for me, the Epiphany, or the Day of the Kings. But let's go back a little bit and talk about this holiday season. It started for me, the celebrations, with Delaware Dance Company's 38th annual Nutcracker. For me, it was my 36th year with the Delaware Dance Company's The Nutcracker. And what was really special this year, it was my 30th year playing the character of Drosselmeyer. 30 years playing the same part. I don't think, perhaps on soap operas, not even The Simpsons, do I think the same actor played the same role for 30 years. So, of course, part of my decor this year was a tree honoring my 30 years of Drosselmeyer, and on display, so many gifts, nutcrackers, boxes, mugs, so many different gifts from the cast and crew throughout my entire 36 years with the show. So without further ado, let's take a look at that very special celebration. It is so much fun to do that show. And the Delaware Dance Company is a fabulous company for young men and women. If you want to learn more about it, you saw their website, www.delawaredancecompany, all one word, .org. You know, in addition to the Delaware Dance Company, there are so many local artists in your area, whether in your Newark, Wilmington, or any other state you'll be watching this in. Please support your local arts groups. To that end, I got to see my good friend Walt, who performs in a little known gem known as the Newark Community Band. I got to see their Christmas special, their Christmas show, and it was fabulous, I have to say. Definitely set the tone for Christmas just about a week and a half before the day. Let me show you just a snippet of the Newark Community Band. Aren't they terrific? So you'll hear some of their music throughout the show this evening, thanks to them. I appreciate that. Meanwhile, tonight we'll be showing some more of my decor. We're going to be doing some do-it-yourself project crafts that you can do at home and sharing some fabulous holiday stories with you, some holiday treats. So get a cup of hot chocolate and watch along. First of all, I want to show you something that is very near and dear to me. These crafts, these candy canes, were made by my Aunt Claudia years ago. She taught me and my brother and cousins when we were small children how to make these fabulous candy canes. Very easy to do. And they look great on a gift. They look great hanging from a window or perhaps hanging on your tree or garland. So let's take a look at how to do it. So here we are, ready to have our do-it-yourself candy canes. So here, your supplies are needle nose pliers, some pipe cleaners, and of course the beads. And the pipe cleaners, the beads, you can get at any craft store or online. And I've got different beads here. I've got just a regular round bead, and I also have what I call tri beads. It's almost like it's like a bone on a vertebrae, to tell you the truth. And I put the beads out. They come in different kinds of containers from the craft stores or online. I like to sort mine out, and that way it's easy, and I have my colors all placed where I want them, just a little bit organized there. Now you can you can use the whole pipe cleaner and make a big candy cane, but I have to say those candy canes get a little wobbly. I think the perfect size is to cut the pipe cleaner in half. We're just going to snip that there. If you don't have needle nose pliers, then by all means, a pair of scissors would do as well. So we start very simply. I'm going to make a red, white, and green candy cane. So we're going to start by just placing the bead on the pipe cleaner. You just slide it on there. Very easy. This is why this is a perfect do-it-yourself craft to start teaching young children, because it's not very difficult to do. In fact, I remember doing this as a child, and I have to say it was a lot easier with smaller fingers, putting these beads on a pipe cleaner. So once you get a few on there, I put 4 to start. I'm going to do a striped candy cane. Once you get there, you have a little bit of pipe cleaner left here at the tip. You're just simply going to bend it over so it keeps the beads in place. And then now that we have the bottom, then we're going to switch colors, and now I'm going to do a row of clear or white. And now it's a little bit of a longer process because you have to slide it all the way down the pipe cleaner, and you fit it in there. And voila, our candy cane is starting. Now I'm going to skip ahead. You don't want to watch me put all these beads on to one I already started working on. And here it is straight. At the end, we're going to curve it, obviously, to make the candy cane. But we have to finish it. So we're going to do our last row of Our last row is going to be red. I'm just going to slip some beads on there. And you just do what you did at the beginning. So now we're at the end. We have a little bit of pipe cleaner left. And you're just going to bend that over. Sometimes if you're working with little children, you'll have to do it for them because, believe it or not, this little last bit of pipe cleaner can be very stiff to bend around. And boom, candy cane. Now you simply can add a hook if you want to hang it on the tree, or you can add a piece of fishing line if you want to hang it from a window because they do catch the sun. The beads do really well. And of course, you know, if you don't want a candy cane, there's other shapes you can make. Maybe a little more pipe cleaner, you can make a wreath. A little bit more pipe cleaner, a little longer pipe cleaner, and you could make a, where's the long piece? Here we go. You could make a heart shape for Valentine's Day. So, you know, the shapes are just as much as you want to do with the pipe cleaner. And voila. I told you, it's so easy. And again, something really easy for children to do and do as a family activity. Speaking of family, I've got a great family and great friends who always think of me at Christmas with thoughtful gifts. One of my holiday traditions is to hide a fake pickle ornament in my trees. And perhaps when you watch some of the other videos of my decor, you might spot a pickle or two in a tree because this year I hid 8 pickles in 8 different trees in my house. Because of my habit of following that tradition, I believe it started in Germany, of hiding pickles in trees, my dear friends Darren and Ian decided to buy me a very special pickle for Christmas, and this is what it is. Yes, my dear guests, you can have a yodeling pickle. I'll have to figure out some way to put a hook on that. But if that didn't bring a laugh watching the yodeling pickle, my special guest, none other than Dame Edna's honorary study, she was stuck in town with me for a few days, and she joined me on one of my holiday traditions. Let's take a look at that. Hello, possums. I'm back here in the wings of Milton Theatre in Milton, Delaware, getting ready to do my special New Year's Eve show. But because I was stuck a few days beforehand with my unscrupulous manager, Scott Mason, I was forced to participate in some of his Christmas traditions, including joining his friends Michelle and Judy as we went driving around neighborhoods looking at people's god-awful light designs on their houses and lawns. I must say, it turned out to be quite an enjoyable evening, despite having to spend it with Scott. His friends, though, were quite lovely. Here's a little glimpse into that fun evening. What is with that red circle around those fake flowers? What do you think, ladies?
It's like so nice in the windows and then so horrible out front. I don't understand.
I don't get the red lights around it.
Then
It may be the entrance to hell. I like those white lights on the bushes. But then it looks like the house has got the measles with those green and red dots.
Well, it also looks like they were drunk when they put the lights up. I'm like, what shape are they trying to convey?
Maybe they're trying to spell something.
Yes, okay, they're spelling tacky and then an angel. Yeah.
Dame Edna, I think we're at the gates of hell.
I think you're right, Possum. I think you're right. I thought that little well was perhaps the gates of hell, but that is either that or the burning bush. And where is Moses and the 10 Commandments?
I think the other one was the gate to purgatory then.
Look, it's cute little critters all over the lawn. It looks like a miniature Macy's Day parade.
I like it. It's exuberant.
Exuberant, there's a word, darling. Hey, that one looks promising.
Dude.
Scott, it's a
gas station.
You're such an idiot.
Now, Possums, I'm not sure what this house is all about with these. What is that?
It's two flashing balls.
Oh, well, you know, we're gonna have balls. If they flash, that's even better. Now we found the gate now. Now I think we found the devil himself. Oh my word, Possums, that looks like a real life-size Mary and Joseph.
Well, there was no room at the end, so where were they supposed to go?
I have to cut back on the martinis because it looks like that tree is spinning. Is it spinning?
It is now.
It is.
I don't know what's going on here, but I think, ladies, Scott, it needs to have a warning sign that this house may cause an epileptic seizure. It looks very Christmas, very traditional, I think. Old-fashioned. What do you think, Scott?
Absolutely.
I don't like it at all.
What?
Such the party pooper he is. Don't let him talk. Don't let him talk.
No, no.
Now this is a very interesting tableau. It's sort of like Godzilla versus the reindeer. Possums, we saw this house from miles away, didn't we? The Griswolds have nothing on this home.
Nope.
I can look up there. Something up way up high.
Oh, look, it's a star.
Oh my God, they're gonna crash a plane. They shouldn't have it that high.
How did I get it up there? I want Possum. I'm at a loss. Wait, you know,
Just freaked out.
he reminds me of that special person they had on Saturday Night Live quite some time ago. What was his name? Mr. Bill?
Yes.
Oh no, Mr. Bill! Oh no!
I have to say, seeing that snowman, I don't know if it was handmade or homemade by somebody, but brilliant. What a brilliant thing to have on one's lawn. Certainly made our night. And how sweet of my friends Michelle and Judy to tolerate a car ride with the infamous Dame Edna. Speaking of sweets, making the candy canes, saying the word sweet, we all had a lot of them during the holidays. And every time I walked down my hallway, I was itching for some candy because this year's hallway theme was Candy Cane Lane. This might make you want some chocolate. I hope you enjoyed that trip down Candy Cane Lane. So many families, including my own and my friends, we all have different holiday traditions. Obviously, this being a country with many immigrants, way long ago, so many different traditions from different countries came to this one. And family practices passed down through generations differ, of course. When I put out my nativity scenes, I place all of the people inside the nativity, but that's not the case for all. Some religious people, they don't put baby Jesus in the nativity until Christmas Eve or Christmas morning. And also to that end, there are some people who don't put the three wise men in the nativity until the eve of the Epiphany last night or this morning during the Epiphany. Because that's what the Epiphany is about. It's when the wise men finally reach Bethlehem. Unlike most Christmas movies or specials about the birth of Jesus, the wise men weren't there right away. The star came out on Christmas Eve, and then it took them 12 days to get there, hence the 12 days of Christmas. In some countries, Eastern Orthodox religions, they actually celebrate the giving of gifts on the Epiphany or the Day of the Kings. A lot of Latinx cultures will celebrate and give gifts on the Day of the Kings, meaning tonight or sometimes on the eve. Just like for Christmas, some people do gifts on Christmas Eve and some people do them on Christmas Day. Or, if you're lucky, both. And I believe in miracles. I believe in guardian angels. And if you saw my last year's Christmas special, you know how near and dear to me my maternal grandmother Ruth was. Just a couple of years after she passed away, I was doing some last minute shopping at Kmart. This tells you how back it was because there are no more Kmarts. But I was doing some last minute Christmas shopping at Kmart and I came across this really interesting tin. And it had this beautiful picture of Santa, the reindeer, and Santa climbing down the chimney. And this was a popcorn tin. And I'm not much for buying popcorn tins, but the picture spoke to me and I had to have it. And I bought it and I brought it home and I kept looking at the picture going, why does that picture look so familiar to me? And it wasn't something that was hanging in my house. I would love to have it framed, of course. But then I thought about it and I was walking past where I had a display honoring my grandmother. And in 1972, my grandparents couldn't be with us. And so my grandmother sent me this book, Jolly Old Santa Claus. And she wrote in the back, signed it. But I was going through the book, and lo and behold, here was this picture. And when I saw that, despite my grandmother having passed for a couple of years, I just knew that she's there and she was watching out for me. Oh, wow. Those times with my grandparents, that's what would happen. Christmas Eve, we would do gifts with the family and my paternal grandparents. And then we would do gifts with my maternal grandparents either that night or the next day. And of course, Santa was the one who brought toys on Christmas morning. Wow, they say Christmas is for children. And I have fond memories of being a child and opening those gifts wickety fast just so I could see what Santa brought me. And because I refused to grow up, one of my themes this year in the in the dining room, in the front room of my home, I did two themes side by side that seemed to match perfectly together. It was Santa's toy shop and also the toy shop itself. So there was Santa's workshop, and then there was the toy shop. So filled with toys, and these are ornaments that are reflective of many of the toys that we grew up with, if you're my generation. So let's take a look at that very special setup. The train set you might have caught a glimpse of that was going around underneath the toy tree. That is a Lionel train set from 1937, and as you see, it still works. It was indeed a gift from my maternal grandmother to my maternal grandfather. It was their first Christmas, and that was her very special gift to him, since he indeed worked for the railroad. And I can't believe after all this time it still runs. That's back in the day when they used to make things that last. And then I hope you enjoyed Santa Claus. And it reminded me, I had this really funny Christmas card that I got from a good friend. And it says, works one day a year, spends the rest of the year judging you. I love getting Christmas cards. As you saw in my last Christmas special, I use them as I take off the backs and I use the front, the beautiful artwork of Christmas cards. I use them as gift tags on my presents. But before they get taken down, I like to display my cards. Again, different traditions. Some people put their Christmas cards in a basket. Some you have them on their fire mantelpiece or on a table. But I like to use them as decorations. There's nothing I won't turn into a decoration, even the yodeling pickle. So let me show you what I do with my Christmas cards. I actually hang them on the inside of my front door to make the door a little bit more festive. And every time I leave the house, I get to see those Christmas cards, and it brings back memories of families and friends. Let's have a look. And now we have the clean slate that we can start prepping our do-it-yourself decorate your door with what to do with your Christmas cards. Our supplies for this: pair of scissors and ribbon. Of course, I have a metal door, so I'm going to use a magnet hook, very strong magnet hook, our wire clippers, and a pick. I've chose poinsettia, but you can use a pine cone or a bell, whatever. And you'll see what that's all about in a moment. So first, we take the ribbon. We don't even have to measure the door because we're going to do it an easy way. First, we just simply tie the ribbon around the hook. Doesn't have to be a fancy bow. You just tie it on. This is really an easy task, but it makes a nice display when all is said and done. So now we have it tied on. If I was doing this on my door, I would stick the magnet hook at the top of the door, and then I would just let the ribbon roll down to the floor. And now we know how long the ribbon is, how long the door is without measuring. I'm just going to do a little short piece for this demo. We usually get about 3 to 4 rows of these on the door. I have a very big front door. So you don't want this unsightly hook and little ribbon knot standing out. So that's why we have a pick. You first take a little craft wire and just cut off a small piece there. And then we wrap it around the pick a few times so it's a solid holder of the pick. And then you can do this when the hook is attached to the door, or before you start putting cards on it. You can take the hook temporarily down, and we're just simply going to wrap the wire that's now around the pick also around the hook. And once you get that done, you can straighten out the pick. And then basically, as this is on your front door, the back of your front door, the pick will hide the hideous metal hook. And then you're ready to start hanging your cards as they come in. And very easy, the ribbon is hanging down, you take some tape, and you tape the card onto the ribbon, and just one by one. Sometimes after they've hung on the door for a while, the card can particularly want to just stay open. And then what I do is I just take some tape, double-sided, and make the card stay closed. And that is the simple thing to do. If you don't have a metal door, then you can use, if you have a wooden front door, back door, wherever you want to put these, then you simply cut the ribbon. You have to measure ahead of time, cut the ribbon, and then tape the top of the ribbon across the top of the door. And believe it or not, you might think that door is shut tight, but there's just enough space to tape the very flat ribbons with masking tape or packing tape, and there you go. So let's take a look at how that looks. So this is what your door can look like. And here's another shot of that. And voila, a nice display for your Christmas cards. It's easy, even you can do it. And then again, when Christmas is over, so easy to remove the metal hooks and take the cards off. And again, I use them for gifts. You can put them away. Some people keep their Christmas cards throughout the years, but for at least for a while, other people in your home can enjoy those cards. Well, I'm waiting for the snow, and the clock is ticking, and the last night of Christmas, the Epiphany, is going to come to an end. So I have a little bit more time, because during those 12 days of Christmas, that's when I catch up with what I want to do. I'm so busy before the holidays, like everybody else, that I don't get time to see It's a Wonderful Life, or my favorite Scrooge the musical movie, or my lovely, awesome Christmas specials that I grew up with, that we all grew up with, Charlie Brown and Rudolph, and even those special Christmas movies like Christmas Vacation. Speaking of which, I'm all set to hunker down and wait for the snow with my eggnog, and to probably watch at least once again Charlie Brown. Let me have a sip. Charlie Brown's near and dear to me because it came out the year I was born. In any case, I hope you'd enjoy tonight's F-ervescent Epiphany. It was so nice being with you, as always, and I look forward to doing it again soon. Meanwhile, we'll end the show in Ode to Charlie Brown with a little video of my collectibles from the Christmas specials, and special music once again by the Newark Community Band. And I hope that Rudolph and Snow Miser and Heat Miser and the Grinch don't mind, because it's all about Charlie Brown. Good night, everyone. And thank you to my friends, Darren and Ian, for the pickle and many other gifts, of course. And to my friends, Michelle and Judy, for putting up with Dame's understudy. And to my good friends, B&P Studios, Brian and Peter, for reminding me how to make one of these specials, because, stuff just leaves my head. Good night, and I hope 2022 brings you much joy and happiness.